On today's podcast, I am talking with my friend, my dear friend, Karen Harrison, who is a senior licensed Reiki master teacher with the ICRT, or the International Center for Reiki Training. She's also a licensed counselor and marriage and family therapist. And she's also the co-director of the licensed Reiki master teacher training program. And that's what I asked her to join us and talk about today. Welcome, Karen.
Thank you for having me. Great to see you.
It's so nice to have you here. Before we begin, I just want to let you know that we have a full slate of licensed classes coming up this month, including a Karuna Reiki class in February. Also in March, I will be teaching ICRT Reiki classes and ICRT animal Reiki training in the Australian time zone. So online, of course. So please join me if those speak to you. All of the classes are online. If you don't already get our newsletter, I'll put a link in the description so that you can sign up and we can stay in touch. And maybe you can even join our monthly Reiki share. We'd love to have you and meet you and get to know you better. And I also have a link in the description if you'd like to book a session with me. So please check that out. Karen, what have you got coming up?
I have plenty of classes. Thanks to your contributions, I'm also teaching animal Reiki online with Karen Kaeg beginning in January, and I have all levels of Reiki classes on my website at karenharrison.net. So you can check them out. I also offer a monthly Reiki call podcast, the third Monday of the month, online on Zoom. And then I have a twice a month Reiki share online.
Wonderful.
And all that information is on my website.
On your website. And we'll put links to that and also your links so people can contact you in the description, Karen. Awesome.
Okay.
I'd just like everybody to join us in a brief invocation to bring the energy in with us today. So I'm going to invite you to go ahead and place your hands in Gasho. Close your eyes and take a deep breath. And just begin letting go of the busyness of your day and of everything you need to think about later. This moment is about you and for you, so give yourself this time to focus your attention on you. And invite your Reiki symbols to join you. And although we're talking about the licensed teacher program today, our purpose is to help you see your way forward, to see what's next for you in Reiki and in your life. It's one of our greatest treasures as Reiki teachers to watch our students flourish and grow. Growing in the Reiki, but also just bringing more love and beauty and joy into their lives. And if this program is part of that for you, we'd like to let you know more about it. But if it's something else, whatever it may be for you, whatever the next steps might be, we invite you to be open to them. Open your heart and to allow Reiki to lead the way to your best life, whatever that may be for you. Aho, namaste, and amen.
Beautiful. Thanks.
Thank you, Karen. To start off with, I'm going to let everybody know that I actually wrote an article about becoming a licensed Reiki master teacher, and we'll put a link to that in the description. And as well, we'll put a link to the additional information about becoming a licensed teacher. But I need to be honest with you that it was never my intention to become a licensed master teacher. This was one of those nudges that I got in class. And I used to make it a habit to argue with Source and what was in my best interest. I would usually get a little push or a little nudge, and I would explain why it wasn't a good idea or whatever. And I made no exception in this case. And in fact, from the time I got the nudge to the time I looked up more information about the program or contacted your co-director, Colleen Benelli, it was from between May and January. It took me till that long just to make the first, just to reach out about the program, because it was intimidating. And I also really didn't know if I would be good enough to be a licensed teacher. I also knew that it was going to be a lot of work and a lot of paperwork. And that's probably one of my least favorite things to do. So I really did resist at first. And looking back now, becoming a licensed Reiki master teacher has changed my life profoundly. It's changed my relationship with Reiki. I've got to meet so many beautiful people like you. And I wish I hadn't resisted it for so long. I wish I'd jumped right in with both feet when I first got the nudge. But that being said, because I do know that it can be intimidating for people, and yet it's such a wonderful feeling of belonging within this incredible group of highly trained, highly professional, beautiful people, that I wanted to do this podcast and maybe make it a little bit more accessible to people. So thank you so much, Karen, for being here and just helping people understand a little bit more about the program.
Yes, I'm excited to share about it.
Yeah, I bet. It's pretty cool. So can you just tell us a little bit more about the ICRT Licensed Reiki Master Teacher Program? Who is eligible? A little bit more about the program in general, if you don't mind.
Okay, great. And you can get this information off of reiki.org, and Pam will share the link later with you. There is a web page that gives a summary overview of the program, and then we have all the meaty details in a manual, about a 46-page manual. So
I was telling you,
yes, so
42 pages. My memory.
Well, it might be up to 50 or so by now. Who's counting?
I definitely was. When Colleen said, great, we'd love you to apply. Here's the 52-page manual or whatever, how to apply. And I went, ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, that was one of the gifts of Laurel Shantigaya. She wrote it, and then it's just been Colleen's and my joy to edit it over these years. So it's an ongoing process. Anyway, okay, a little bit about who can apply. Anyone that has taken all of their classes through one of the licensed teachers with the International Center for Reiki Training. And then you have to be a teaching Reiki master for 2 years and have taught 8 classes. That can be 8 of any level of classes. You have to be a professional member of the Reiki Membership Association for a year, and then have attended the International Reiki Retreat, which we've been having online and hope to also have in person in Sedona over Labor Day. So we have a meeting there, and you get to meet the other licensed teachers and get to ask all your questions. And I go over the program in more detail. Colleen and William share about the program, and the other teachers share And then we have another special meeting for you to ask more questions. So you need to attend those, and then have a current Reiki practice where you're doing at least 10 sessions a month, and be able to teach Reiki classes online. Because that way we can reach people all over the world, which is really cool. You can also teach classes in person. So those are the requirements to apply. Now, do you want to know about some of the benefits?
I do. I do want to know some of the benefits. And I also want to know what made you apply in the first place. So go ahead with the benefits, and then let's get into our personal stories.
Okay. All right. Great. First of all, one of the main benefits is you can spread Reiki to so many more people with the power of the advertising of the ICRT. That's where I get the bulk of my students. Sure, people find me on my website and YouTube, and now on TikTok. Oh my God, my first TikTok video. But through the power of advertising with the ICRT, it gives me an instant credential. People aren't asking about your background and your qualifications. And so it just makes it so much easier to teach, which is what we really want to do, and spread the Reiki love, which is really like this pay it forward type of career where I'm handing off a ball of light to my students and they hand it off to their students. And it's just so exciting to be able to contribute to the world at that level. And the program teaches you how to be a world-class Reiki teacher. And that's one of the reasons that I applied to the program, because I live in Kansas City and we had a lot of Reiki teachers at that time. And I thought, well, if I'm going to do it, I want to do it as best I can. And I knew that the structure and the manuals would help me to be the best Reiki teacher that I could be. So that is why I applied. Also, William Rand invited me back in 1999, quite a long time ago. It took me a while, another year or so, before I had the qualifications to be ready to apply. But yeah, so I've been doing it a long time. You also get a mentor in the program. So the mentor helps you with your business in the 7 areas that we work on, which are business success and comprehension, healing issues that arise, marketing, technology, practitioner skills, teacher skills, and anyway, there's seven areas. So we help our student teachers in all of those areas. And so that just helps you continue to build the business that you've already begun and established.
Having a mentor, I was just going to say, having a mentor is invaluable. What a huge difference that made to me, for my personal healing, for my business, for everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And then the community aspect. So that is really awesome. And our community is so wonderful and supportive. When you apply to the program and get accepted, then you get all these emails from all of the teachers welcoming you in. It feels like this big hug coming around you. And then we have our quarterly meetings, and we have meetings at our retreat. Right now, I've been working with a group of teachers. We're having a teacher retreat at William Rand's home in Maui in January. The benefit of being able to have this great support system, say you have a question, like Pam was just sharing with me that she knows how to add music to her podcast after the fact. And I thought, wow, that's really cool. I'd like to know how to do that. And then Karen Kaig taught me how to make TikTok videos this weekend. So we have this great community of people that support each other and teach us stuff and are there if we have a problem. So the community aspect is so amazing and important.
It really
so anyway, so that's why I applied to the program. And when I met the people, I just thought, here's my soul group. I need to be doing stuff and hanging out with my soul group. I'm committed. So here I am all these years later and still teaching Reiki and still loving it. Not planning on retiring. Why do I need to retire? William is 75 and he's already taught, I don't know, probably 500 students this year. And,
just this year. I know he's a machine.
Yeah, 2021. Yeah.
I know. And not to mention that I can't keep up with the man on a hike, and I train for it. So he's a powerhouse, that guy. And so inspirational. Yeah. I've said that to my husband. I have no intention of retiring. I just, every day, I love what I do. I love what I do. So why would I ever stop doing it? Karen, when I applied, I did it because the energy said to it. But I really didn't comprehend how many benefits I was going to get from it. At first I could see, oh, this is going to be a lot of work. And it is a lot of work. And I wasn't even qualified. When I went to apply, I had studied 4 times at the master level with William Rand, but I had never studied level 1 and 2 with a licensed teacher. So I wasn't a professional member. So even though I had a thriving practice, I needed to do a level 1 and 2 class with Carolyn Musial. And I thought, why do I need to do that class? That doesn't make any sense. I've already done the master level with William. How much better does it get than that? And I want to tell you, I learned so much in that level 1 and 2 class. It completely changed. I'd probably taught 100 level 1 and 2 classes at that point. I'd been teaching for several years, and it completely changed how I started teaching, because classes from licensed teachers are, I don't know, they're in another category, I think. And I learned so much, and I went, oh, that's why you need to take that and be a professional member. Okay. And I did attend the retreat. And when I met all of you guys, that's where I met you the first time. I attended the retreat in 2017, I think it was. And I was so impressed by the other licensed teachers, how open they were, how honest, how comfortable they were in Reiki and in themselves, and how professional they were. And I thought, wow, I guess I do want to do this. And anyway, so I went home and started going through the 50-page manual of how to do it. And I was glad that I had to wait a year, because it took me a year to put together my package, my application. And then there were certain steps that I didn't understand until I did them. I could remember thinking, now, why do I have to review all of my classes with my teacher and things like that? And yet
got into the program.
Yeah, after I got into the program, I was notified. I was so fortunate. I was notified that I was in the program on September 15th of 2018. And on September 21st of 2018, Holy Fire 3 came through, and William, my very first meeting with all of you guys was a Zoom meeting, and William had just returned from Japan and Taiwan, and he said, there's a new energy, and now I'm going to share it with you. And I was just like, wow, this is the best thing ever. I can't believe I'm on the ground floor of all of this incredible development. And it's changed the way I practice Reiki. But not just that, it's changed the way I live my life, and it's changed my relationship with Reiki. And then to have all of you guys as friends and support, my soul tribe, like you said, like it just doesn't get any better than that. And I think that same year, it was December, the same year, William said, "Hey, does anybody want to come to a retreat at my house in Maui?" I said, "I do." So you and I have been there a couple of times together. I'm going to have to miss this year, but I'll be there again in the future. Yeah. I can't
we've had a great time.
We've had a great time and we've learned so much. And it does really, I do think it helps to spread our reach. Like we're reaching more people. I think when the classes went online, I remember a lot of people know this, but I was in Heathrow just having taught a Reiki class in London when all the borders were closing and things were closing down in March of 2020 with COVID. And I looked around at all the people panicking and I thought, oh my gosh, everybody needs Reiki right now. And I was so glad to be in a position to help, but at the same point, I didn't know how we were going to help based on the new structure or the new, with everyone in quarantine and shutting down. And I was so grateful. I think I was only home a day when we held a meeting, our licensed teachers, and William said that he had received the word that we were going to teach quality classes online. And what a benefit that has been to be able to reach people.
Yes.
During this pandemic.
That is. William keeps things exciting for us, you know.
He really listens to his guidance, and so he does keep it exciting for us, doesn't he?
Yes, because his guidance is always, okay, there's a next step and a next step. We're continually growing and learning with the energy, which is so fun. It
really is. Yeah. And it's all about evolving, isn't it? And not staying still or not staying static with it. And he very much has that type of approach. And that's an approach that I've been drawn to from the very beginning. You recently became the co-director of the licensed Reiki Master Teacher program when Laurel Gaia wasn't able to do it any longer. What made you decide to step up and help out with that? That's a big job.
Yeah. Back in 2012, William Rand asked Colleen Benelli and me to do Reiki business coaching for all the licensed Reiki Master teachers. He asked us to interview them all and see what was contributing to their success in all of the 7 areas that I mentioned. So we set out over the next probably almost 2 years, and we interviewed them all. We compiled all the information. We shared it with them. We were also working on creating new ways for the LRMTs to communicate with each other. We got a Facebook group going, and then we had calls on conference calls. And then when Zoom came out, we were just working with that. And Carolyn Musial was also involved. So the 3 of us were already working on things. And then when Laurel had her stroke, then after a few months, we realized that somebody needs to step in and do her work. And so again, William and Carolyn and Colleen and I met, and we just figured out who was going to do what. And we just started doing it. We didn't have any training really for our jobs because Laurel wasn't able to work with us at that time. So we just figured out what we were supposed to do and use the manual as our guide and listen to Reiki. And then so that was back in 2015. So we've been continuing to develop the program. We just launched this week, a mentoring guide for the mentors and student teachers. And so I am super excited to have that resource available, because that's going to provide a lot more help for the student teachers and the mentors, because it's part of my job to support the mentors who are mentoring the student teachers.
I become a mentor in April. I'm the first Canadian, the only Canadian licensed Reiki master teacher. But I get to become a mentor in April. That I'll have been a licensed teacher for 2 years then.
Yay, yay. And that is so exciting, because think of all the people that you can reach in Canada and Australia
and the UK,
New Zealand and the UK.
Yeah, where I teach.
Like, go Pam, go Pam. Yeah. Pam's already been traveling. She's one of the hardest working licensed teachers we have. She's out there doing so much. I think of her as the Energizer Bunny.
Oh, honestly, I just really like to travel. So while I'm traveling, I might as well teach Reiki classes. But no, that's not entirely true. I did get a tap on my shoulder that said, look, develop this program in Australia, across Canada, and sometimes I even teach in the US and in the United Kingdom, because there are no licensed teachers there, and in New Zealand. And so it's my hope that we can inspire and encourage some people to become licensed teachers in those regions. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, we have a number of mentors available, and Pam, you're going to be wonderful at that. She has so much to teach and to offer. So I'm very excited.
Thank you
about that.
I'm excited to be a mentor as well. And I am mentoring some of my own students, and I've been doing a Reiki Master Mentor program, but I think it's next level when you get to being an LRMT mentor. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
In order to be a member, one of the things, like there's several steps like to becoming accepted in the program. And when we move into the program, it's roughly a 3-year program with over 1,000 hours of additional training. And I think that while it looked onerous at the outset, there was always a lot of support all the way through. And it was busy. It was a lot of work. But I'm so glad that I've done it. It completely changed my approach to Reiki, to life, to everything. But there's also a lot of steps for people to be accepted. Like we had to pass a lot of audits and that sort of thing. And so there is a pretty rigorous screening program involved. And you had mentioned that people need to be a professional member for at least a year prior to applying. Can you tell us a little bit more about the professional membership, or being a professional member of the ICRT Reiki Membership Association? There's 2 levels of membership, affiliate and professional. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yes. So the professional membership, in order to have that, you have to have Reiki 1 and 2 through Reiki Master with one of the licensed Reiki Master teachers with the International Center for Reiki Training. So you can find all of the LRMTs, that's how we refer to them, on reiki.org. We have around 30. So after you take all of your classes, Reiki 1 through Reiki Master, then you can apply to be a professional member. And what that means is that you get your name listed on the website in the professional member tab with your contact information, your email, and so it's listed by state. So if people want to find a Reiki teacher or healer in their area, they can go to the website, and that's going to help you get a lot more visibility and more students. Now, the affiliate member is for anybody at the Reiki Master level who has taken their classes through a teacher who is not licensed with the International Center for Reiki Training. They get their name also on the website under the affiliate member tab. And then there's some things that both agree to, our code of ethics and our standards of practice, which you can look at what those are on reiki.org under membership. Just click the membership tab.
Yeah. And that's the purpose of this organization. I think affiliate member, anyone from any lineage who is at the master level is able to apply to be an affiliate member. Karen, is that correct?
Yes.
And
anybody that has taken the Usui classes, and they need to have the 3 Reiki 2 symbols and the Usui master symbol.
That's right. And I think that one of the purposes is that then when people register with the classes of an affiliate member or a professional member or a licensed teacher, any of those categories, then they know that they are getting an ICRT style class with the minimum requirements, where the minimum requirements will be met. And so it is really a great thing. And one of the things I've noticed, Karen, is that now that I'm a licensed teacher, before I was a licensed teacher, my students could still apply to be a member of the Reiki Membership Association, and I always encouraged them to do. But when I became a licensed teacher, they no longer had to apply to be affiliate members. When they did both classes with me, they could then apply to be professional members. And we all noticed that when you do step into that professional membership with the Reiki Membership Association, Reiki starts working with us a little differently. Like it seems to amp up how it works with us, or at least that's been our experience. I don't know if you noticed that yourself, but.
Yes. Yeah. So it's saying to the universe that, yes, I'm ready to offer my Reiki services at a higher level. And then that in turn is going to attract more business to you.
Yeah, I think so. And it's just I don't know, when you do teach Reiki, it's addictive. It's such a beautiful thing to watch your students just watch their lives change. My husband said, and he said this in the podcast with me, that he couldn't ignore the effects of Reiki because he was watching one person come into my classes and a completely different person leave at the end of the day. He was usually gone through the day, but he would arrive home just as he would be there when they arrived and he would be there when they left. And he would just shaking their head like they're completely different people when they leave the class. There's something to this. I can't ignore it.
Yeah. So now we need before and after pictures.
We should do before and after pictures. That's a good idea. But it's just, there's something about being able to witness that as a teacher, being able to witness that joy and that beauty and that healing happen for your students. And as you do step into the next step and the next step with your Reiki journey, and you can witness that with your Reiki clients or your friends and family, whoever you're sharing Reiki with. It's just such a beautiful thing watching more and more love and beauty and Reiki spread in the world.
Yes.
Can you talk to us about some of the advantages of being a licensed Reiki master teacher? I guess we talked about reaching more people, but I wonder, and also the advantages of studying with a licensed Reiki master teacher.
Yeah, so I think we talked a little bit about some of the benefits of the professional recognition and being able to reach a lot more students and help with your marketing, especially for those people that maybe are not so marketing savvy. The ICRT is very good with that. So when you study with a licensed Reiki master teacher, you are getting a good quality of class. There's the set curriculum that we all agree to follow when we become a member of the Reiki Membership Association or a licensed teacher. And the licensed teachers are, as you said, in on the ground floor of the newest developments with Reiki, whatever is going on, like being able to teach online, new levels of energy that are constantly coming through. That teacher has had good training. They have been vetted. Their mentor teacher is watching over them, coaching them, and helping them. And we don't allow our student teachers to complete their licensure unless they have proficiency in all the things that they need to have for each level. The licensure process unfolds gradually. So although it might seem a little daunting, you just do one step at a time.
Exactly.
First, you complete the requirements to be licensed for Reiki 1 and 2, and that takes about a year. And then you complete the requirements to be licensed for Reiki Master, and that's about another year. And then the requirements for being licensed at the Karuna level. And at that point, you're fully licensed. And you also earn money through the program, which is really cool,
Yeah.
which more than pays for the fees of the program, which is really cool. So I woke up one day in meditation and I heard that I needed to sit down with a pen and pencil and compute what a person might make as they go through the program. So I wrote all that out and got that all approved through our Team Reiki, which is our executive team for the co-directors. And it is in that 50-page manual. So you can look that over and see. So all that's in there. So anyway, when you take a class from a licensed teacher, that they've had good training, that someone has reviewed their teaching, their mentor co-teaches with them, gives them tips on how to improve their teaching, you're going to get a quality class. I just have to think, I went to a Reiki conference where William Rand was speaking, and he held up the Reiki kanji and he asked how many people knew what it was. And there were about 60 people in the room and only 2 people held up their hand. And I was one of them. And I thought, I'm surprised that they haven't learned that in their Reiki class. This is the kanji for Reiki. It's that sort of thing. And I know whenever I've had people review my classes that have taken a class with someone else, they always say that they learned something new. And our teachers all have their own different teaching styles. And whenever I review a class with any one of them, then I learn new things. Like even just taking animal Reiki with Karen Keg, I learned some new things to enhance my teaching because she does things just a little different. So, oh, I really like that. Well, I'm going to do that. So we learn from each other and we just help each other to be the best Reiki teachers that we can be. So it's that quality of teaching and the depth of experience that I think really helps a person to have a really good experience in their Reiki class.
I agree with you, Karen. And I think too, you've mentioned the structure that we work within and the fact of just learning from each other. And so many of the licensed teachers, for instance, have lots of opportunity for follow-up with their students. Like I have a private Facebook group for all of the students that have studied with me, and we do a regular Reiki share. And so do you, and so do most of the teachers. Like they just ways to stay in touch. And you talked about reviewing classes. That's one of my favorite things to do. And in fact, this year I'm planning on reviewing quite a few classes with some licensed teachers. Actually, you're one of them. So, because one of the things that we are encouraged to do is just continue to learn and not stay stagnant. And I love attending my colleagues I attend sessions, I attend different things that they do, because you learn so much, like the Reiki retreat, even. I learned so much from all of you at those. And it's just wonderful. So even reviewing a class with a licensed teacher might be something that would be interesting for some of the listeners.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a great idea. And I plan to do that myself, because I always have something, new to learn, and new way of presenting something. If you review with me, I decided to make the history a little more interesting by acting out Dr. Usui.
I'm looking forward to seeing that. I have to tell you.
I thought it'd be even more entertaining if I write out the scripts and let my students play different parts. But that might be the next step.
Okay, I hope I'm in that class. And one of the beautiful things is, now that classes are online, really, people can have their pick of who they'd like to study with. Some teachers are teaching in person as well, if someone's looking for an in-person class, but many of us are also teaching online. And so that really opens things up for people to join us, doesn't it?
Yes.
I've got to see that.
It was all born out of one time I had a student who actually fell asleep in my class, and I thought,
when you were talking about the history,
I got to do something different.
I love the history, so maybe I'm a history geek, so maybe people are falling asleep on me too, and I'm just not aware of it. But it's awesome. Well, Karen, is there anything that you'd like to leave people with, or anything else about the licensed teacher program that we didn't cover before we move into a meditation today, and just help our listeners find their next step, whatever that is for them?
Yeah. I would just tell people that if you have any idea that you might like to do it, to just go check out the overview on the Reiki.org website. And whether you decide to apply to the program or not, fulfilling the requirements to be eligible to apply will help you get your Reiki business going. And also, I know Pam has a great Reiki Master Mentor program that you can attend that will help you build and establish your Reiki business. So I think that's wonderful. And I hear she's also writing a book about that. So so all of those things would be really awesome. And I love Reiki so much that I only take people in as Reiki clients these days, not as counseling clients anymore, because I find that I can help my people with things at a deeper level and often quicker than with some of my counseling techniques. Now, counseling is still very valuable for so many things, but where the Reiki really shines is with helping to clear and release trauma. So that's one of the areas I really specialized in, and I'll be talking about that at the retreat this coming year. Reiki for life challenges and trauma. And I just find such quicker results with it. Teaching Reiki is just so fun, and seeing transformation and spreading good on the planet, it's just very rewarding. And I think it's my quickest and best way to help people. And when I prayed and asked God, okay, God, I really can't do justice to all the different 5 things I was doing at the time. And I prayed. And so number 1 was Reiki. Spread Reiki, teach Reiki, write about Reiki, do Reiki sessions, because that helps inform my teaching and my writing and my speaking. So that's what I'm doing. Reiki helps you to align with your best vision and version of yourself. So I think that's what we're going to do with a little meditation.
I think it is. And I just want to tell you that I got a similar thing to you. I have 3 businesses, my horse business, the Reiki business, and my essential oil business, but I too was told focus on Reiki. And so fortunately, my apprentice runs my horse business and my essential oil business is still there, but it just slowed down a little so that I could really focus on moving forward with Reiki. Hey, Karen, why don't we tell them a little bit about the retreat before we move into the meditation? It's usually held in Sedona, Arizona, on Labor Day weekend.
Yes. So we will have information about that on the Reiki.org website in January, I believe. We just got the presenters confirmed yesterday. And so, yes, we're excited about that. It will be online, definitely, and in person, hopefully, at Sedona at Maga Retreat, which is beautiful.
Yes.
So it's a wonderful place to visit. And we have this really super lineup of presentations on all sorts of subjects. So I'm very excited about our program.
I am too. And I'll be there this year talking about animal Reiki and also a little section as well about starting your own Reiki business. So I'm excited about that. Yeah.
Great.
Awesome. Karen, I am looking forward to our meditation today. I wonder if you would lead us in that. And I just want to tell any listeners who are driving to hit pause at this point because we care about you and these meditations can go deep.
Okay, yes, I'd love to.
Thank you.
So I just invite you to relax and begin focusing on your breath. And if you have Reiki, then I invite you to activate your Reiki symbols. And we call on our higher power, the spirit of the earth, the brothers and sisters of the light. And now imagine yourself magically transported to a beautiful forest on a warm, sunny day. And you're walking along a path. And with each step you take, feel the life force energy of the earth flowing up through the bottoms of your feet. And as you walk along the path, you notice the beautiful trees, their beautiful green leaves. And there's some birds singing overhead. And there's some flowers growing along the path in white and blue and lavender. And as you're walking along, you come to a clearing. And in the middle of this clearing is a beautiful, majestic tree. This tree has a very thick and broad trunk, and it has a beautiful canopy. And so you're called to go forward and approach the tree. You're looking at the tree and admiring its beauty from a little ways away. And now, to enjoy the full beauty of the tree, you decide to just stop and look at it from a little bit of a distance. And right there is a nice big rock to set on that has a flat top. And so you sit down on the rock and continue looking at the tree. And you've been wondering about what your next step with Reiki might be, and your next step in life. And so, as you contemplate this, you call on your higher self and your spiritual source to assist you. And also the Reiki energy comes to surround you and empower you. The divine animal kingdom is here and is present, along with the brothers and sisters of the light. And their energy is flowing together in like a infinity symbol of energy from heaven and earth, combining and mixing. And this energy expands to surround the tree. So now, let's ask your higher self, your spiritual source, and the Reiki energy to show you your best vision of yourself in the future. And this is a fully empowered you, living your best life, fulfilling your divine purpose on earth. And now, at the count of 3, this vision of your future empowered self is going to step out from behind the tree. 1, 2, 3. And there she or he is. So start to notice what you look like. Notice the energy that you have. Notice how you feel empowered. Notice your confidence. And your sense of accomplishment. Notice your emotions, how you feel. Notice the energy of your thoughts. And just continue to look and awe and wonder at this future vision of yourself as your fully empowered self. Your authentic self, fully giving of your gifts. Notice the beauty and the strength of your future self, the compassion. Now we're going to ask your higher self to show you on your Reiki journey, what is your next step to get there? You might receive a vision, or you might hear words or have a sense of knowing. And it might come now or later. Just take a little time in the silence to get a sense of what your next step with Reiki is to get to your future self. And now, whether your next step is with Reiki or something else, let's have you ask, what is your next step in life in general to get to that future vision of yourself? And take some time in the silence to listen and look. And more ideas and images may be continuing to come to you over the next hours and days. As you're gazing at your future self, he or she beckons you to come closer. And with open arms, calls you into an embrace. And you feel yourself merging with your future self and your highest potential. And you find yourself wrapped in the energy of all those qualities, the success, the accomplishment, the well-being. And you feel yourself now completely at one with your future self and your highest potential. And now your future self, as you begin the journey back through the forest, back to the beginning of the path. And now you find yourself back in your room, back in this present moment. And when you're ready, you can bring your attention to your eyes and open your eyes and come back. And at the end of this podcast, you might want to take some time or maybe pause the podcast and take some time just to write about your experience with this meditation. Thank you, Pam.
Thank you, Karen. That was so beautiful. And I loved it. Wow. I was very thin. My future self. So, yeah. No, thank you so much. And for talking with us about this today and leading us in that beautiful meditation. And I just want to thank the listeners, whether you decide to become an LRMT or work with an LRMT or just take that next step on your path, whatever you decide to do, what's right for you, just know that we support you. We're behind you every step of the way, and so is Reiki, and we're so proud of you. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you.
Thanks, Karen.